How and when does a student become professional?
See, again, professional is a nice English word, but there are a variety of attributes and manifestations for it. We always use this example that in a consulting company, client is king. Like in a company, customer is king. Our customers, we call them clients. So there is a meeting at 11 o'clock. We try to be. The rule is that you have to be before time. Doesn't matter if you're 5-10 minutes before time. But if, God forbid, for whatever reasons, traffic, etc., you're late, then you have to call the client and say that, sorry, I'm on my way, I'll be 5-10 minutes late. It's okay. People understand, especially in today, any part of the world, traffic is fairly abnormal, and therefore that's okay. Now, many times we also face this situation that we are there on time, in fact 5 minutes, 10 minutes before time, and the client does not, for 11 o'clock meeting, calls us in at 11:45. Client, when he calls at 2 o'clock, it is assumed that he would have had his lunch and we would have also managed something, or actually we've used the pre-lunch time, 1 to 2 lunch time, for the travel between our office and the client office, but the client doesn't bother to offer us lunch or inquire about our lunch, etc. Or the client says, actually, now, please wait, I'm having my lunch, without asking. That's client prerogative. So professionalism again is keeping the same. For example, today I called up I think Mr. Khandelwal when I realized that I'm going to be running late, and I asked you to come at slightly later time. I would look at that as a very simple sign of professionalism. The other thing is being aware of the organization's culture, policies, code of conduct, and not only being aware but actually living by that is again part of professionalism. Knowing, like I always say, everybody knows what they know, but it is important that you should know what you don't know, and also you should accept and acknowledge that there will always be something that you don't know. So knowing that and asking questions and asking or taking help, seeking guidance, irrespective of who you are, what hierarchy you are, what is the culture in your organization. For us, especially in consulting, knowledge is supreme. Age, experience is not. So I could have a young person reporting to me, maybe 3 levels below me, but if on a particular topic, if he is more knowledgeable, I have to humbly bow in front of him in all humility and say, ki boss, sikha do mujhe. Those kind of things. So understanding that part of it is also very critical. Meeting deadlines. For us, especially in consulting, it is sacrosanct. We cannot afford to miss deadlines. Yes, sometimes deadline get missed, largely because of client issues. We are ready for a presentation and client says, no, I'm traveling this week, let's have this next week, let's have this 2 days later, let's have this 1 day earlier, whatever it is. Proactivity is another way of looking at this thing. That are you proactive? Are you reactive or are you proactive? Are you anticipating things? That's again part of what I call and then attention to detail, understanding that a given task has to be completed. We have a rule in our company, for example, that if I tell my colleague that I want you to do this, and I tell him a deadline, if he or she doesn't open his mouth, I always tell him or her that if you don't react, I will assume 2 things. One, you have understood what I want you to do. You are clear and you agree with the deadline, and also you have understood the way I want you to understand. So that is professionalism. If you don't, then again, not every company has that culture where juniors are allowed to ask questions, but things are changing.